You send out clear signals about how you feel without saying a single word. People learn everything they need to know about you within the first few seconds of meeting you. Successful people are not always the smartest, most attractive, or best educated. Often, they succeed because they know how to get along well with others. The most accomplished public speakers, actors, politicians, and salespeople were not born charismatic. They worked hard to learn how to speak effectively, to be appealing, and to charm and persuade others. But how did they do it? The answer is simple. Most applied certain rules of personal communication and, thus, developed themselves attractive personalities. Yes, such rules exist. Furthermore, they are easy to learn and employ. You can use these secrets and tricks to recreate yourself almost magically into a person of great charm and poise, someone everyone will admire and want to be near. During this video you'll learn the main lessons, tips and advices from the book How to Talk to Anyone by Leo Lowndes. We'll dive into how to make a great impression before saying a word, ways to enrich your vocabulary effortlessly, what subconscious evaluations people make when meeting someone, methods to refine your adaptability to diverse audiences, ways to start a conversation with strangers, tricks to be more confident while you talk, steps to navigate conversations in unfamiliar settings, and how to steer clear of common mistakes during social interactions. Lesson 1. Know your audience. Understanding your audience is crucial for successful communication. Whether you're giving a presentation, engaging in small talk, or participating in a business meeting, adapting your approach to the specific characteristics and expectations of your audience can significantly enhance the impact of your communication. Use the you attitude. Focus on the interests and perspectives of the person you're talking to. Frame your communication in a way that emphasizes how the other person will benefit. Tailor your communication style. Adapt your communication style to suit the preferences and expectations of your audience. Consider factors such as age, cultural background, and professional context. Picture this story to emphasize the importance of this point. At a casual gathering with his school friends, Alex, an economist, fervently dived into economic theories, only to perceive confused expressions among his friends. Everyone was too quiet, not adding anything to the conversation and not asking any questions. It suddenly dawned on Alex that his use of technical language was causing confusion. In this setting, Alex, accustomed to discussing with knowledgeable colleagues, realized the necessity of adjusting his language for a non-expert audience. Swiftly altering his approach, Alex adopted a more conversational tone. Instead of stating, "The problem in many countries is the fiscal deficit and the monetary emission," he simplified, elucidating, "The government, in many countries, spends more than it has, resorting to printing money. This leads to money losing value due to oversupply, resulting in inflation." Suddenly, heads nodded, questions arose, and interest flourished. The atmosphere lightened, and engagement soared, transforming the discussion into an enjoyable and comprehensible exchange. The challenge often lies not with the audience but with the speaker's ability to simplify and adapt the message to them. Remember to speak their language. Tailor your vocabulary and choice of words to resonate with your audience. Avoid complex language that might be confusing or alienating. Observe nonverbal cues. Pay attention to the body language, facial expressions, and gestures of those you're communicating with. Nonverbal cues can provide valuable information about their reactions and feelings. In the story, Alex immediately captured their emotions and knew they were not understanding. Consider cultural sensitivity. Be aware of cultural differences and nuances in communication styles. Respect and adapt to cultural norms to avoid misunderstandings. This point is of a high importance, and a one you hopefully will not forget with the story I will tell you. In the bustling world of Argentine corporate life, Nina, a diligent figure in human resources, embarked on a journey to Brazil for a training program her company sent her to. Alongside with colleagues from various Latin American nations that were there for the same purpose, they decided to explore Rio de Janeiro for 2 more days after the training sessions had finished. The days were filled with laughter and shared excursions, culminating in plans to witness an Argentina match at the famed Maracana. During a casual moment at an ice cream shop, Nina, in a lapse of caution, used a colloquial term familiar in Argentina but carrying cultural nuances. They all spoke Spanish, but some words do not mean the same in one country than in another. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted as her words hung in the air. Strange expressions surrounded her. Nina, feeling the weight of the misunderstanding, struggled to convey the cultural differences that specific word had in Argentina. As the tension lingered, Nina navigated the delicate terrain of cross-cultural communication. Eventually, explanations unfolded, wounds healed, and the tale concluded with a shared understanding of the importance of cultural sensitivity in global discourse. After that episode, Nina thought to herself that while she fervently believed she could refrain from such expressions in different company, the realization dawned that in the ebb and flow of conversation, those familiar words might slip out effortlessly. Today is among 3 colleagues, maybe not a big deal, but tomorrow, she thought, she might be giving a conference somewhere to hundreds of people, and a mistake like that could cost her her whole reputation and career. After that thought crossed her mind, Nina promised herself that it will never happen again. She made a silent vow to be mindful of her words. She resolved never again to casually employ colloquialisms that, while harmless in her circles, carried nuanced meanings in other places. Nina vowed to filter her words, even among understanding friends. Recognizing that linguistic habits can inadvertently surface in diverse contexts, she embraced a conscientious effort to refine her natural vocabulary, making sure that her mistake will never happen to her again. Lesson 2. Make good first impression on everyone without saying a word. People judge you based on your words, body language, and appearance. Research suggests that up to 10,000 units of information flow per second between individuals. Initial impressions are formed within seconds and are lasting. First impressions stick, and 80% of them have nothing to do with what you said. They come from how you look and move. We'll not dive into details on how to enhance your appearance, since there are lots of videos in this specific topic. All I will say is, maintain well-groomed clothes, pay attention to your hair, have it as neat and frizz-free as possible. Have groomed nails. Pay attention to personal hygiene. And remember to include fragrance and oral care to your routine. Everyone knows appearance is important, but what many overlook at other things, which are the ones that impress the subconscious the most, they are how you move and how you act. One important thing to keep in mind is to remember to stand upright with good posture. Your posture leaves an important impression. To ensure a positive impact, consider also the following tips. Smile slowly. Don't smile as soon as you meet someone. People will assume that you do this with everyone. Instead, wait a second or two, look long and deep at the person you are meeting, then smile big. This brief delay signals that you are not smiling because it is socially desirable, but because you see something special in this particular person. Maintain eye contact. Show people that you truly can't take your eyes off of them. Maintain perfect eye contact while you speak with them. Make the baby pivot. When you meet someone, pivot directly toward them with a total body turn, flash a genuine smile, and show them undivided and very special attention you would give to a young child who has just crawled up into your lap. Lesson 3. What to say after you say hi. Mood matching. Before engaging with someone, assess their mood and ensure your opening words align with it. This is crucial for effective communication, especially in sales situations. Sarah, a sales representative, enters a client meeting. She observes that the client seems a bit reserved and serious. Before diving into the pitch, Sarah acknowledges the client's mood by starting with a more formal greeting. She ensures her tone matches the client's demeanor, creating a comfortable atmosphere for the discussion. Where a conversation starter, Initiating a conversation with a stranger can be challenging. Wear something distinctive, like a unique tie-tack, antique jewelry, or a special lapel pin, to prompt comments and ease into dialogue. John attends a networking event where he wants to connect with industry professionals. He wears a unique lapel pin representing his company's logo. During the event, others notice the pin and initiate conversations, providing John with an easy way to talk about his business and establish connections. Swiveling spotlight, people enjoy discussing themselves. Picture a spotlight that highlights your counterpart. Keep the focus on them rather than yourself. By doing so, they will perceive you positively for your genuine interest. Emily is at a social gathering and strikes up a conversation with Mark, a new associate. Rather than talking about herself, Emily asks open-ended questions about Mark's interests and experiences. She listens attentively, maintaining the spotlight on him. Mark feels valued and appreciated, making the interaction positive and memorable. Don't try to be the interesting person, instead, be interested in the other person. Lesson 4: How to elevate your speech. Recognizing influential individuals is often tied to their authoritative and intelligent communication style. They exude confidence, carefully select their words, and steer clear of cliches. To emulate this impactful communication, consider the following lessons. Kill the quick me too. Resist the urge to immediately match someone else's personal experience or preference. For example, if someone mentions their love for sailing, refrain from sharing your own sailing story. Instead, let the shared interest emerge organically during the conversation. 2. Remember the word you. Seamlessly integrate the word you into your discourse. This shift in focus toward the other person not only captures their attention, but also garners approval. For instance, instead of saying, "I think," opt for, "What do you think about?" 3. Avoid euphemisms. Speak directly and to the point, without resorting to vague or softened language. Using nice words can make you appear indecisive. For example, instead of saying, "We might face challenges," say, "We will address potential obstacles directly and proactively." Enhance your vocabulary. One common way of enriching your vocabulary is by reading and writing, but if you don't have time for that, an easy way to do it is by seeking synonyms for your most frequently used 15 to 20 words. There are words we use all the time. Incorporate these alternatives into your natural language through consistent practice. Adapt your word choice based on your audience in formal settings like interviews. Employ the richer vocabulary to enhance your influence. Preparing and practicing with your new words beforehand facilitates their seamless integration into your speech, making it more effortless to convey sophistication when needed. Picture this work interview where both candidates had the same work experience, but they talked about what they did in a different way.
Can you share your previous experience and why you'd like to work here?
I've worked in HR in the past. My tasks were helping my team. I've worked with Excel spreadsheets organizing information. I was asked sometimes to talk to suppliers and compare different alternatives to spend our budget, and I've also worked in the training part. This job for sure excites me. I think I'll learn a lot.
In my previous HR role, I facilitated team support, organized data, using advanced formulas on Excel, conducted market research to optimize budget allocation. I've engaged with suppliers and managed wide-ranging training inventories. I am eager to contribute my diverse skills and knowledge to this incredible company. I'm confident that my experience will be an asset. I am enthusiastic about the potential for growth and learning in this role.
If you were the interviewer, who would you choose? Remember, is not what you say, is how you say it. Lesson 5: How to be an insider in any crowd. Tony, a 25-year-old marketing professional, receives an invitation to a prestigious networking event in the finance industry. He knows this is a golden opportunity to expand his professional network, but he's not familiar with finance jargon. Tip number 1: Adopt insider language. Tony observes how finance professionals talk during the event. He casually drops terms he picked up, demonstrating his awareness of the industry's language. Tip number 2, listen and learn. Tony actively listens to conversations around him, identifying key phrases. He uses this newfound knowledge to engage in meaningful discussions with attendees. Tip number 3, prepare in advance. Knowing about the event in advance, Tony researches finance-related topics. Armed with insights from reading their rags, he enters conversations well-informed. Tip number 4, Google and research for insights. Before the event, Tony spends time researching about the event, people who will be there and their backgrounds, and he also reads a bit about the latest finance news. He uses the knowledge gained to discuss industry trends, making him stand out in conversations. Tip number 5, stay relatable for your age group. Tony ensures he uses language relatable to his age group. Instead of sounding overly formal, he mentions casually, "I was checking out their magazines, got some interesting insights." An additional personal insight I would like to emphasize is the significance of maintaining a positive outlook, especially in situations where you may find yourself less inclined to be there. Whether it's a workplace or any other setting, adopting the mindset of assuming the best of both, the place and the people there, can significantly impact your experience. Even if you may not genuinely feel that way, make a conscious effort to project a positive mindset. This positivity will be reflected in your gestures, facial expressions, attitude, and overall presentation. Lesson 6, Mastering the Art of Closeness. We'll dive now into the strategies designed to bring you closer to others, fostering not only closeness but also the development of strong, lasting relationships. In general, people are more comfortable with those who have similar values or interests. Your job is to provoke sensations of similarity in the thoughts of those you want to get to know. Remember the word, we. When you pepper your sentences with the word, we, you establish a subconscious bond with other people involved. For example, in a work meeting, instead of saying, "I think we should consider this," you might say, "We might explore this aspect further." This subtle shift fosters a subconscious bond among the group members involved in the conversation. Join the movement. Is your conversational partner characterized by abrupt, erratic motions or by smooth and graceful gestures? Subtly match that person's movements to make them feel more comfortable with you on a subliminal basis. But don't go overboard or you are almost sure to offend. Echoing. What special words and phrases does your conversational partner use to describe something? Echo your partner and use those words yourself. Let me share a brief story, so that you can really understand the immense power of echoing, when done right. In the quiet setting of a charming bookstore, Emma was immersed in the pages of an esoteric poetry collection. A soft glow of warm reading lamps was casting a gentle radiance, as dusk approached. As closing time neared, a young man kindly alerted Emma and another person that was there, Jack, of the imminent closure of the bookstore. Emma, noticing Jack capturing the moon's radiance through the window, marveled at what her eyes were seeing, exclaimed, "The moon looks mesmerizing tonight." Jack shared the captured image with her. And with a shadow of disappointment in his face, he responded, "It really did not capture the beauty of the moon tonight." Emma nodded, and in a heartfelt response, she said, "It's a beautiful picture, but it doesn't do the moon justice." Acknowledging that the enchanting scene in the window was captured, but the immensity and beauty of the moon did not transcend the photo as it really was. While Emma was leaving the bookstore, Jack silently watched her depart, thinking about the uniqueness of the expression this unknown girl used to describe the photo. Anticipating that he might never encounter her again, left him with a lingering sense of sadness. Days later, on a sunlit street, they encountered each other again and started talking. Suddenly, a butterfly landed on Emma's shoulder. Excited for the situation, she asked Jack for a photo of that moment. Jack took the picture, and upon sharing the image, Emma claimed, "Thank you so much, it looks great, look at the butterfly. It looks beautiful." Jack, looking at Emma, expressed, "The picture might be fair for the butterfly, but it does not do justice to the girl." Emma, taken aback, gazed at Jack as if seeing him through new eyes, realized they weren't like strangers anymore. Caught in the echo of their shared sentiment, Jack smiled, realizing the transformative power of a single phrase. The echo of the words, "It doesn't do justice," became a delicate thread. The subtle art of shared expressions may hold a touch of magic, capable not only of fostering familiarity in a bond, but also of unlocking limitless possibilities when used with discernment and right timing. Lesson 7. Mistakes to avoid in a social interaction. There are certain attitudes or insensitive comments that can kill any chance you have to get ahead in a social meeting, and mistakes that could ruin the lasting bonds you already have. To avoid doing damage, keep these strategies in mind. One of the most important things I hope you remember from this lesson is to never comment on the slips, fumbles, and mistakes of others, unless they allow. Imagine a group of friends enjoying a birthday party amidst various groups. Suddenly, Anna shares a story from the past that amuses everyone, but embarrasses her friend Amy. Anna exploits these stories to draw attention from others. Amy remains silent. It is truly upsetting when someone uses their friend's past embarrassment for personal visibility, a trait consistently exhibited by Anna. She leverages others' experiences to garner attention, exploiting her friends. Never be like Anna. True friendships thrive on lifting each other up, especially in public. Laughter is best shared with friends, not at their expense. Reserve laughter at embarrassing stories only when the person themselves is narrating what had happened to them and laughing along. Always laugh with them, not at them. Anna may reap some short-term benefits, such as gaining visibility, from exploiting these situations. However, in the long run, it will always work against her. Another tip you should know is to remember that chance encounters are for chit-chat. For example, you have been trying for weeks to schedule an appointment to speak to the boss about increasing your salary. Don't bring it up when you run into them in a checkout line. If you do, you'll never get the raise. Avoid over-talking. Dominating the conversation, without allowing others to contribute, can make you come across as self-centered and inattentive. Always make sure there's a balance. Remember this quote: "No man would listen to you talk if he didn't know it was his turn next."